There's bad blood in the air between pop superstar Taylor Swift and music executive Scooter Braun.
I do not see that he did anything wrong. He paid for his rights fair and square.
What we think happened,
Yeah.
and what actually happened between Taylor and Scooter is a world apart.
This was a battle of titans. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was Goliath versus Goliath.
What happens when one of the world's biggest pop stars goes to war with a powerful music manager? When devoted fans rally against their idol's nemesis? What happens when the feud leaks from social media to the real world with serious consequences? Strap in as we break down the Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun beef about the ownership and rights of Taylor Swift's early music and the aftermath of it all. Before we begin, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us. Let's set the stage, shall we? The year is 2005, and a young curly-haired Taylor Swift signs her first record deal with Big Machine Records. Fast forward through a decade of country pop domination, 7 Grammy Awards, and enough hit singles to wallpaper the Empire State Building, and we arrive at 2018. Taylor, now a global superstar, is preparing to leave Big Machine Records after fulfilling her contract. But here's the kicker. She doesn't own the master recordings of her first 6 albums.
Copyright law contains 3 components: the lyrics, the music, and the recording. If the artist wrote the song, they own the rights to both the lyrics and the music, but the recording company owns the rights to the recording. That's called a master.
Now, Swift wanted to buy her masters, but according to her, the deal offered by Big Machine was less than ideal. So she made the tough decision to walk away and sign with Universal Music Group's Republic Records. June 2019, a date that will live in pop music infamy. Scooter Braun, known for working with stars like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, acquires Big Machine Records for a reported $300 million. This deal includes the master recordings of Taylor's first 6 albums. Her reaction?
The pop star speaking out after a top manager brought the rights to her music, and she is not happy about it. Now that company, along with her catalog, has sold for $300 million to someone who, Swift claims, once tried to dismantle her musical legacy.
And so you didn't see it coming?
No.
So how did you find out?
I found out when it was online, like when it hit the news. I knew he would sell my music. I knew he would do that. I couldn't believe who he sold it to, because we've had endless conversations about Scooter Braun, and he has 300 million reasons to conveniently forget those conversations.
What advice would you give to anyone who wants to become a singer?
Get a good lawyer.
In a Tumblr post, because apparently Tumblr is still a thing in the Swiftverse, she called the sale her worst-case scenario. She accused Braun of incessant manipulative bullying and claimed she was never given a fair chance to buy her masters herself. This is categorically untrue because now we know she was given the opportunity.
Scott Borchetta says that he personally texted Taylor to tell her about the deal, and that she had every opportunity to own not only her masters, but everything associated with her career.
Braun, for his part, said,
I completely understand where she was coming from. You know, I think the Beatles probably felt the same way when Michael Jackson bought their publishing. And when I was buying a record label, I actually said to that group, at any point, if she comes back and wants to be part of this conversation, please let me know, because I wouldn't do this deal. I was shown an email where she stated that she had decided to move on from that negotiation and wasn't interested in doing that deal anymore.
But the internet? Oh, the internet had a field day. Hashtags flew, sides were taken, and the battle lines were drawn. It was like the pop culture equivalent of the Civil War, only with more gifts and fewer muskets. Just when you thought things couldn't get spicier, we get to the 2019 American Music Awards. Taylor Swift was set to receive the Artist of the Decade award. A pretty big deal, right? Well, it turned into an even bigger deal when Taylor claimed that Braun and Big Machine were preventing her from performing her old songs at the show. Cue the Twitter storm to end all Twitter storms. Fans rallied behind Swift with the fervor of an army defending their queen. Big Machine fired back, saying they never tried to stop her from performing. It was a classic case of he said, she said, but with millions of dollars in devoted fans in the mix. In the end, Swift did perform at the AMAs, and she did it with style. She opened her performance wearing a white shirt with the names of her old albums printed on it. A not-so-subtle dig at the whole Masters situation. The message was clear. You can own my masters, but you can't own me. Now here's where Taylor Swift pulled a move no one expected. She announced she would re-record her old albums. Why? Because if she couldn't own the originals, she'd create new versions that she did own.
I made it very clear that I wanted to be able to buy my music. That opportunity was not given to me, and it was sold to somebody else. And so I just figured I was the one who made this music first. I can just make it again.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
I have to say.
This move sent shockwaves through the music industry. It wasn't just about Taylor Swift anymore. It was about the very nature of music ownership and artist rights. Suddenly, every artist was looking at their contracts with a magnifying glass, wondering if they could pull off the same move.
Pop star Taylor Swift, she said she intends to record new versions of her hit songs after her back catalogue was sold off earlier this year.
She's actually re-recording many of her first albums, and her version of Fearless, home to some of her first big hits like Love Story and You Belong With Me.
I think that Taylor is really changing the narrative and updating what her narrative is.
Just when you thought this story couldn't get any more dramatic, Scooter Braun sells Swift's masters to an investment fund called Shamrock Holdings in November 2020. The price tag? A cool $300 million. Taylor Swift claims she wasn't given a chance to buy them herself, saying she would have had to sign an NDA before even being allowed to bid. She also revealed that she had been in talks with Shamrock Holdings, but pulled out when she learned that Braun would still profit from her masters under their deal. But here's where Taylor Swift decided to change the game. She pushed forward with her re-recording plan, starting with Fearless, Taylor's version, in April 2021. And guess what? It was a massive hit. Fans rallied around the new versions, pledging to stream only Swift's re-recordings.
I mean, one thing about this album that's really special to me is that it's the first one that I will own of my work, which is a concept that they're very supportive of.
Right.
Suddenly, those old masters didn't seem quite as valuable, did they?
How does this re-recording impact the original masters that are now owned by a private equity firm? Well, it dilutes their values. Fans are buying the new version of the album, and any company that wants to license Taylor Swift's albums can now work directly with Swift, which cuts off income to the firm that owns the original masters.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity and success of Swift's re-recording strategy. When Fearless, Taylor's version, dropped, it didn't just do well, it dominated. According to Billboard, it sold 1 million equivalent album units in its first year. The original Fearless? It sold 242,000 units in the same time frame back in 2008. But wait, there's more. Red, Taylor's version, took things to a whole new level, selling a whopping 1.94 million units in its first year. The original? A mere 220,000. It's like comparing a firecracker to a supernova. And let's not forget about All Too Well 10-minute version. This extended cut of a fan favorite became a cultural phenomenon in its own right, complete with a short film starring Sadie Sink and Dylan O'Brien. It broke the record for the longest song to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Take that, American Pie. While all this re-recording magic was happening, Taylor Swift was planning what would become one of the most successful tours in music history. The Eras Tour. This tour isn't just a concert, it's a 3-hour-plus extravaganza covering all of Swift's musical eras. It's like a musical time machine, taking fans from country Taylor to pop Taylor to folklore Taylor and beyond. The demand for tickets was so high that it literally broke Ticketmaster. Yes, you heard that right. The ticket sales caused such a frenzy that it led to a U.S. Senate hearing on Ticketmaster's practices. Who knew buying concert tickets could turn into a matter of national importance? But the numbers don't lie. The Eras Tour has cracked the record-breaking $1 billion mark, making it the highest-grossing tour of all time. It's not just a concert tour, it's an economic force of nature. Now let's shift our focus back to Scooter Braun. Remember him? The guy who started this whole drama by buying Swift's masters? Well, things haven't exactly been smooth sailing for him either. In the viral Tumblr post by Taylor Swift, she wrote, "Please let Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun know how you feel about this." This was enough for the fans to unite and charge against Scooter Braun. And the fans were merciless. After all, they weren't going to let him go after Taylor Swift accused him of incessant, manipulative bullying. The fans wanted revenge. They attacked him incessantly on social media.
She literally called on her fans to apply pressure on Scooter and people who know him.
Taylor Swift also received a lot of support from other artists at the time. But one day it all turned dark. Braun had remained silent on the feud, but said threats to his family had forced him to change his mind.
The truth didn't matter. She had the ability to rally her fans.
When it gets to a place where there's death threats and there's people being threatened in the manner they're at, I just think it's got out of hand.
In an open letter to Taylor Swift on Instagram, he wrote, "I came home tonight to find my wife had received a phone call threatening the safety of our children." The 38-year-old also posted a screenshot of a text he'd received and added, "I assume this was not your intention, but it is important that you understand that your words carry a tremendous amount of weight and that your message can be interpreted by some in different ways." He asked the star to meet up and sort out their differences. This highlights the influence a pop star can have over their fans and how she can rally them against anyone who has wronged her. It also is very clear that even if, in the eye of the law, Scoot Braun is 100% right, in the eye of the public opinion, Taylor Swift is clearly the victim and the champion at the same time.
With Taylor, it's this really interesting phenomenon where she's the victim, but has also always been the winner as well at the same time. Like, ultimately, she always prospers. And it's just something I don't think we've really seen with anyone else, where something awful happens to her or she feels wronged or slighted, but she always kind of gets her revenge. And she's even joked about it herself. She's said it in her songs, Karma, "Look what you made me do." She literally will sit and plot her revenge. And when it's executed, it's flawless.
In August 2023, reports surfaced that Ariana Grande and Demi Lovato had left Braun's management company, SB Projects. This came hot on the heels of J Balvin ending his contract with Braun in May of the same year. Now, it's important to note that we don't know for sure if these departures are related to the Swift drama. But in the court of public opinion, well, let's just say the timing is interesting. There were even rumors that Justin Bieber, one of Braun's first and biggest clients, was looking for new management. These were quickly debunked, with reports stating that Bieber is under contract with Braun until 2027. But here's where it gets juicy. Despite the continued partnership, multiple sources reported that Bieber and Braun's relationship had become strained. One insider told People magazine, "Justin's been working on his new record for the last 6 months. Scooter and SB Projects have not set up one session or done one thing for this new record." And now we come to the most recent development in this saga, Scooter Braun's retirement from music management. In a lengthy Instagram post in 2024, Braun announced that he was stepping away from his role as a manager after 23 years in the industry. In his statement, Braun said he had been considering this move for the past 2 years. He wrote, "I have nothing but love for those I have worked with over the years, and as we develop a different working relationship, I will always be in their corner to consult and support them, whether it be directly or from afar." But here's where things get interesting. Braun also alluded to personal challenges, saying, "But as my children got older and my personal life took some hits, I came to the realization that my kids were 3 superstars I wasn't willing to lose." Now, Braun didn't explicitly mention the Swift situation, but he did acknowledge the controversy surrounding him. He stated, "There has been a lot said about what is happening in our company and in my career. As with any good beef, we're left with some lingering questions. Is Taylor Swift finished with Scooter Braun, or is she gearing up for an even bigger retaliation? Is Braun still going to fight back? And most importantly, who will be the next victim of Taylor Swift? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, we'll be watching closely." And there you have it, folks. The Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun saga is a story of music, money, and power. A tale of an artist fighting for her work and a manager navigating the stormy seas of the music industry. But more than that, it's a story that's reshaping the very foundations of the music business. Whether you're Team Taylor, Team Scooter, or Team I'm just here for the drama, there's no denying that this controversy has changed the music industry landscape. So what do you think? Has this beef changed your perspective on the music industry? Are you more likely to pay attention to who owns the rights to the music you're listening to? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, if you thought this music industry drama was intense, just wait until you hear about our next video. Dr. Disrespect exposed for texting a minor to hide something even worse. It's a whole different kind of controversy that you won't want to miss. Click the video on the screen right now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when it drops. Stay tuned, stay informed, and most importantly, stay entertained.